the horizon moves, right? So it's not like you just go out there and look at the horizon and then you know the Earth's flat because of your baseline. The horizon's not going to meet your baseline.
We are using this tool to measure Earth as flat. That's how it must be measured when you point the tool at the horizon to get an angle from it. You're measuring Earth flat. So's a glober when they point a sextant to get an angle that's a straight line with respect to the horizon. Corrected, inaccurate, because you're on a wave that's going up and down, or otherwise, you're still achieving the same ends regardless of who's holding that tool. You can't even pick up a sextant if you're a glober because you can't establish a horizontal plane of reference with it. That's why when you first said, well, what's the difference if I'm looking at a globe horizon or I'm looking at a flat Earth horizon? Both are looking at a flat Earth horizon because both are establishing a flat baseline to establish a flat line for an angle to the star. Both need it to be flat. That's the point. They need a flat Earth as much as we do because they're measuring an angle off a flat baseline and establishing a horizontal plane when they look at the horizon.
So it's not like you just go out there and look at the horizon and then you know the Earth's flat because of your baseline. The horizon's not going to meet your baseline.
They're measuring an angle off a flat baseline and establishing a horizontal plane when they look at the horizon, just like we are. We don't need to point that out like Witsit did. We just need to say Earth's measured flat, because it is.
Right? But the point I'm making, which is just so incredibly obvious, is if I extend a horizontal baseline out to the horizon with the sextant, and then I go back the next day, the horizon's not going to be in the same place. In fact, if I sit there with my sextant, over the course of the day, the horizon's going to go up and down. Okay, because it's optical. Is this a fact? Yes or no?
Still establish a horizontal plane of reference regardless of where it is. Closer or further away when you zoom into it makes no difference in terms of how you establish Earth with that tool. You're not extending a plane to the horizon as you just described. What are you babbling about, man? You measure with the horizon. It's being utilised to establish a flat baseline. You're not extending a plane of reference to it as you just described. You're just making this shit. They've got to first measure Earth flat. That's right, Witsit. Yeah. Now you're singing my hymn from my hymn sheet. Thank you.
Yeah, and just to clarify, like what I'm trying to say earlier, I wasn't actually trying to argue against the argument. I was trying to explain to you what some people have a contention with. But in my opinion,
I object to you constantly bringing up the globe juxtaposition, Witsit. There's no need to keep rapping on that door of Scientology with your juxtaposition of how it don't work on a globe. When it's factually measured flat, the tool that's being used to establish the plane is the horizon. You describe how that won't be good enough. Yes, it will. It's a fact. It did establish a horizontal plane of reference. Then we've got another rebuttal from Witsit. Well, the horizon moves. Yeah, that's true. Does it mean it won't be used to establish a horizontal plane of reference with a sextant every single time a sextant's used? No, it still absolutely is usable and is used to establish Earth as a horizontal plane of reference.
Well, the horizon itself, if you depend it simply upon like optically looking at the horizon, it constantly moves all over the place. But the real life application of the mathematical extension, it actually working, yes, that only works on a flat Earth. It's distinctly different from a curved surface. So in my opinion, saying like out to the horizon, well, the horizon moves, right? So it's not like you just go out there and look at the horizon and then you know the Earth's flat because of your baseline. The horizon's not going to meet your baseline.
Okay. Can I just put something to you? Do you know what? I think it's called volcanology. You ever heard of volcanology? What is it?
No.
Like study of volcanoes.
Makes sense.
Okay. Well, let's say for the sake of argument, right, there's a few misconceptions about how volcanoes work. And I start detailing to you in really clear detail something that proves my example for how volcanoes do actually work. And then at the end of my statement, I say, and that definitely proves that there aren't any thetans in there. Would you say that that's necessary?
No.
So why tell me why have you just strapped on the end of your statement that how that doesn't work on a globe, knocking on the door of Scientology again?
Okay, you don't have to say it that way, my brother. Do what you want to do.
Right, that's what I'm trying to get
I'm pointing out that you brought up the horizon. I don't think that it has to be more specific than that. The horizon is just an optical location. It moves around. You don't just take your measurement to the horizon. The horizon
do we
moves.
not? What's the horizon practically used for then?
You can use it, but it's not going to be directly horizontal from your position because it's optical.
Precisely what it is. That's exactly what it is. What are you talking about? That's what it is.
The horizon moves, bro.
So what do we use it for?
Down.
Just give me, rather than these assertions, I've asked you twice. What's the practical application for the horizon? Can you give me one? Do you know?
I don't think you can use it as a physical location because it's optical.
So when we point a sextant at it, we're not establishing a horizontal plane of reference to extend out to a GP. You don't realise that's the practical application for this horizontal tool we use. You don't realise that, even though you've made it yourself as an example. You don't think it's useful for proving Earth's measured flat, even though you've already used it and extended that baseline to make a bigger area flat. You don't think it's useful as a tool in practical application when it absolutely is practically applied. You point a sextant at it and establish a horizontal plane of reference with dip correction. It is a practically used tool. It is unequivocally horizontal, but yet you seem to want to disagree with that, Witsit. That's very, very objectionable.
Bro,
seems very shilling. It's almost like you're shilling for a globe while you interrupt me. It's like you desperately want to introduce the Scientology subject back to the people who've left Scientology, and then disagree with fundamental aspects of tools like the horizon with constant interruption that is absolutely practically applied to establish Earth as a measured, flat reference plane. That's what it's practically applied with, Witsit. Again, for the second time. It's like you don't understand. When I ask you, I haven't finished.
Your monologue.
I haven't finished.
Your monologue.
That's why I haven't finished. Don't tell me I'm monologuing, prick.
Is this a leadership battle?
I haven't finished.
No. Oakley just thinks he runs.
Yeah, here we go. Ad homs. Yeah, Witsit's wrong for the second time. He's telling me that we can't use the horizon with a practical application. I asked him directly, what's the practical application for the horizon? I don't know if it has one, was the answer. He's just wrong for the second time. Now it's constant ad homs and constant chanting through me while I try and iterate my point, and here it is again, another interruption. No, you're just wrong for the second time, Witsit.
Okay, so I know that you're used to being in your little echo chamber where you get to...
More ad homs. Witsit was wrong. Horizontal plane of reference established with the horizon. It is most definitely used with the tool known as a sextant to establish Earth as a measured, flat plane. And now we're into a string of ad homs from Witsit. Non-stop ad homs won't get around the fact you're wrong. Doesn't matter what you do to interrupt me. I will just get my point across.
Oakley, we already heard you. He's wrong. We know your point. Practical application. Let him go. Please, just stick to the point, Witsit, please.
Okay, well, I'm saying what's happening is you're making a point, then pausing, and then someone's going in to say something, then you start again and claim they're interrupting.
So again, it's on to the discussion type and how the conversation's going to progress, rather than admissions that he's wrong when you establish the horizontal plane of reference, Earth being measured flat by use of the horizon, which he didn't know when asked how it was practically applied. Now it's on to ad homs about how I'm talking to him. Again.
Okay, so I do know how it's applied. In my opinion, saying it's not like you just go out there and look at the horizon and then you know the Earth's flat because of your baseline. The horizon's not going to meet your baseline, right? But the point I'm making, which is just so incredibly obvious, is if I extend a horizontal baseline out to the horizon with the sextant, and then I go back the next day, the horizon's not going to be in the same place. In fact, if I sit there with my sextant over the course of the day, the horizon's going to go up and down. Okay, because it's optical. Is this a fact? Yes or no?
Still establish a horizontal plane of reference regardless of where it is. Closer or further away when you zoom into it makes no difference in terms of how you establish Earth with that tool. You're not extending a plane to the horizon as you just described. What are you babbling about, man? You measure with the horizon. It's being utilised to establish a flat baseline. You're not extending a plane of reference to it as you just described. You're just making this shit up.
Okay, you didn't answer the question. So we all know that it does move around. But like I already said, like I think it is a good argument overall, right? But you know what, dude? It's kind of pathetic because I'm saying, yes, I think it's a good argument. I'm telling you why people have a contention with it. Right? It's just that some people run around saying, oh, we can't even take an elevation angle. It goes to a horizontal. So the fact that you're on the Earth taking one at all, as if you were. So in my opinion, saying like out to the horizon, well, the horizon moves. right? So it's not like you just go out there and look at the horizon and then you know the Earth's flat because of your baseline. That the horizon's not going to meet your baseline. Another type of surface that was curved, you couldn't look up and take angle measurements. It's kind of ridiculous. You absolutely could. Now, the accuracy of them applied over long distances would be the problem. So if you don't take the critique, that's fine. I don't care.
Please, G+. Like, you just stated that if you weren't on a horizontal surface, it would be absurd to assert that you couldn't take angles from something that isn't a plane of reference. So would you like to explain to me how a curved surface, that's one that's not a horizontal plane of reference, that's Earth being measured and established as flat by utilization of the tool that is the horizon in this instance, how can you get an angle from something that isn't a straight line?
You could treat the singular point as a straight line, and then you would lose.
Sorry, a single point isn't a straight line. That's stupid. Stop.
God.
I agree.
Stop.
I agree. Dude.
Don't interrupt me while I disagree with your stupid statement that a single point is a straight line. A single point isn't a straight line. You've already tried to incorporate your globe shillery into this discussion once, Witsit. A single point is not a straight line. A single point on a globe, you assume, when I've already told you to stop knocking on the door of Scientology, isn't a straight line. And now it's constant rumpusing and non-stop interruption to the objection that a single point is not a straight line.
I'm sorry. I have mute Nathan. You keep constantly saying that he's interrupting you, but you just interrupted him at this point. Please let him finish, and then you can.
Yeah, when he said a single point is a straight line, I'm going to object.
I understand you can't.
So what are you objecting to me? Saying that it's wrong to stop him when he says a single point's a straight line, that's wrong.
Yes, you got it.
I should let him continue. Excuse me, I just want to talk to the bookfin. Excuse me, I'd just like to confirm this with the bookfin. When someone says a single point's a straight line, I should just let him say that's true, should I?
You have to let him finish, and then you can rebut it.
I have to tolerate his assertion, wrong though it is, that a single point's a straight line and let him carry on. No.
Yes, because
no. No.
Because
Go ahead, Witsit.
No.
Hold on, I temp muted you, Oakley. I'll unmute you when Witsit is done. You're constantly interrupting. Just let him finish, and you next.
Leave this fucking place.
This is why the interruptions are so bad, because now it's I didn't get to present my point, which is actually that, of course, that's not true. So now he gets to act like I'm making the positive claim that a point is a line. I literally just went viral on X, destroying a glober saying that. Okay, I obviously don't believe that. My point is
pretty cringe. You don't need to mention that.
No, my point is that I just made the whole argument he's claiming I'm making the argument against. Try to keep up. Okay, so I obviously don't think that. So his little monologue about how I claim a point is a line is a lie. That's why he has to be able to interrupt, to lie, and strawman me. What I'm actually saying is most people would say it's kind of asinine to claim that if the Earth was curving, you couldn't make any measurements at all. That's retarded. You absolutely could. They just wouldn't be accurate. And when you apply them over long distances and at different locations, you wouldn't have any accuracy. The actual argument is the long distance application, not that you couldn't take a section out if the Earth was a ball, because that makes us look retarded. That's the actual contention.
Oh, fuck's sake, Neil.
Hey, fuck you, Owen. He's monologuing too.
Neil, shut up. Neil, shut up. Neil, shut up. Neil, shut up, or I will eject you. Finally, he left because I can stop the constant interruptions. Yeah.
Go ahead, Nathan.
The rebuttal I received was from Witsit when he told me that they could argue for a single point as a line. Not true. And when it was asinine to bring up that point in contention, which Witsit did, I'm being told that I'm strawmanning him with his own point he raised. I objected to the fact that Witsit is juxtaposing how it doesn't work on a globe and then explaining the justification is that you can get an angle from a non-flat surface when you take a single point. And when I object, that's not my argument, it's the globe argument. And then someone on this panel pointed out how asinine that was to Witsit while I was on mute. Yeah, that's why I objected. It is asinine and isn't a reason to incorporate a globe argument that we're trying to walk away from. And I'm trying to point out to everybody here that Witsit's approach of incorporating an asinine claim that a line will give you, a single point will give you a line, which is what they rebut you with, is absolutely asinine and unnecessary when it is factually just measured flat with a tool called the horizon, which is utilized to establish a horizontal plane of reference. Furthermore, when I asked Witsit what the horizon would be utilized for, he answered he did not know, and is now telling me how he goes around with this argument and I'm strawmanning him with the very claim he brought up that I objected to him using. So, yeah, I object to you constantly bringing up the globe juxtaposition, Witsit. There's no need to keep rapping on that door of Scientology with your juxtaposition of how it don't work on a globe. When it's factually measured flat, the tool that's being used to establish the plane is the horizon. You describe how that won't be good enough. Yes, it will. It's a fact. It did establish a horizontal plane of reference. Then we've got another rebuttal from Witsit. Well, the horizon moves. Yeah, that's true. Does it mean it won't be used to establish a horizontal plane of reference with a sextant every single time a sextant's used? No, it still absolutely is usable and is used to establish Earth as a horizontal plane of reference. That's what the horizon's used for. Even when it moves, it's still horizontal. It's still the point where the ground, the surface level, meets the sky. And it can still be used with a dip correction to establish that fact that Earth is measured flat. Witsit objected to that, saying it was only the extension beyond the establishment of Earth as a horizontal plane of reference with the horizon he didn't know how he would utilise. He objected to that. He didn't know what it was utilised for, but he objected.
Okay, so actually, I obviously know how it's utilized. Everything you're saying is a straw man. I never made the argument myself that a point is a line. That's ridiculous. I never claimed I didn't know how the horizon was used. I never claimed that it wasn't a horizontal reference. I never said that because it's optical and it moves, it can't be used as a horizontal reference. All of those are objectively a straw man. And in order for you to be able to claim I said them, you have to interrupt me and then monologue about what I allegedly am saying. That's why you can't leave your room.
Yawn.
Now, in reality,
I have left my room.
I know
Yawn.
all of those are. I know all of those points. I know that's why you're freaking out. I know all of those points, right?
Okay, excellent.
And I don't disagree with them. My point. Someone asked what the contention was, and I'm trying to tell you it would require good faith, something that you're completely absent of, right? Which is some people say that it's not particularly satisfactory to someone looking into this to say, oh, well, it would be impossible to make any type of measurement to the sky whatsoever unless the Earth was flat. Because they will say, what? No, imagine it wasn't flat. I could still go out there with my sextant and try to measure different angles. Sure, if I use the horizon, it's going to move around. It's not going to be very accurate.
That right there is the straw man.
Guys, we will get told off for objecting. Can you be quiet? We're going to get told off for objecting. Guys, it's this. Yes, it is the same exact objection that I've just overcome. He has just rinsed and repeated the same claim. So once he's finished, hopefully I won't get muted in the server. I'll just repeat the same exact rebuttal. Hopefully he'll listen this time. We'll see. Go ahead, Witsit.
Bruss has said it's a straw man, and I'm talking about what other people say. Imagine saying that. It's so funny.
Okay,
so,
excellent.
No, I'm obviously not straw manning you. I'm talking about you guys asked what some people have a contention with it. I'm telling you what people actually have a contention with is just to end the conversation by saying the fact that you can take a measurement whatsoever from the Earth means it has to be flat. Okay? That is ridiculous. Because technically you could go out there and attempt to do it, even if it wasn't flat. Now, would it actually work when applied in real life? That's the argument. And the answer would be no. So when you don't say it that way, you sound retarded.
Okay, thank you. You done?
He's done.
Perfect. So we can establish some facts that are true then. So we will establish as true from this point forth, Witsit, that Earth is measured flat when we establish it as flat, utilising the horizon to establish Earth as flat when we measure it. You understand and appreciate that first and foremost?
Yeah, of course.
Excellent. So when asked in future what we will utilise the horizon for, you'll reply that we measure Earth flat with it.
Yeah, sure.
Excellent. Not just the extension beyond that establishment of Earth as flat. That's good. Progress.
No, it's not that it's progress. I've known the argument the whole time. You guys came in here acting like you wanted the contention. I told you what it actually is. Okay?
Your
so
contention...
you can take it or leave it.
Okay.
The real contention with you guys and your approach...
I heard it 4 times.
Is that you
I heard
shut
it.
down
Please, I beg of you. I heard your contention
Oh, wait.
4 times. Your contention is that globers would assert that there's a tangent to be established with a single point. That isn't a line, and it won't give you a GP. There's the rebuttal. Fine.
No, even the flat earthers'
there's more.
contention.
There's more.
I'm talking about
There's more. My contention is for us proactively to be illustrating that. Now, given that there aren't any globers here, in my humble opinion, this should have never come up. You were the one to raise it about how it doesn't work on a globe. And I'm saying that isn't necessary anymore. In 2024, my exemplary knowledge of our globe not working isn't needed. I don't need to know how Xenu isn't working to leave Scientology. I don't need it. I appreciate your contentious point is that people will still put that back to me, requiring me to understand how to overcome their objection when they put a globe claim to me. Yeah, I will, because they too will establish a horizontal plane of reference to get angles when they claim a globe, as opposed to a tangent that they won't measure a GP from. They won't do that. They will also establish a horizontal plane of reference, because it doesn't matter if you're a globe believer or someone that appreciates you measuring Earth flat when you establish that Earth as flat with the horizon. Both hold sextants. So both know Earth's established as flat, a plane of reference, when they point their sextant at the horizon, be them a globe believer or not. So it seems surplus to requirements to juxtapose the two arguments anymore.
Yeah, but let's
Okay,
go through
yeah.
this. Oh, go ahead. What's it?
Yeah, you notice how we give you plenty of space, bro. That's the point here. Like, give people space. I understand your point. It's an interesting point, but this would be the counter to your new approach in 2024. It would be, well, everyone was told a specific thing from the time they were 5 years old, right? Actually, even younger than that. So everyone thinks the Earth is a
gives a
specific
shit?
thing, and that's a tilted, wobbling, spinning globe, okay? So that's what everyone thinks the Earth is. So we're trying to show them that's not what the Earth is, right? So in order to detach from a belief, you have to actually understand the belief first. These people don't actually even understand their belief.
Neil,
So
if
some of us
you
maybe
interrupt
don't
him one
agree
more
with
time,
you.
I'm going to remove you, Neil. That's your last warning.
I'm just saying there is an argument to be had that these people believe something but don't understand it, and that the first step would be making sure they even understand what they think they believe, right? Before you can show them that it's incorrect. You may disagree, and that's fine. Everyone has their own approach, man.
Okay. So my analogy with Scientology completely flown under the radar. Fine. I'll just reiterate it again. So I am a Scientologist learning about Xenu and learning about thetans in volcanoes. Okay. Someone comes along and points out how it's wrong, but also suggests that the way out of this cult is to familiarize myself more with the Scientology belief, because that is precisely what you have just suggested, Witsit.
Well, no,
I mean, maybe-
to make the analogy, last thing, Jeremy, just to make the analogy applicable, everyone in the world would have to have the default position that Scientology is true. And then you're going to find out it's not true. I agree you don't have to learn more about Scientology to know it's not true. That's correct. But when you go into the world and your loved ones and your family and your friends and everyone you talk to thinks Scientology is true, and they're like, I can't believe you don't believe in Scientology, and then they find out you don't even understand the basics of it, they're going to be like, of course you can't. Of course you don't know Scientology is true. You don't even know what it is. So it's going to drastically hurt their ability to show other people the truth, okay?
I see.
So you can, some of us want to actually wake people up. Some of us think it's like a game or whatever. To each their own, man.
I see. So your
All right, let's
comparison...
walk through this sextant thing.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead, Oakley. Go ahead.
No. If you feel free, go ahead.
Well, I'd like to walk through this sextant thing. There's a guy on a globe. There's a guy on flat Earth. They both got sextants in their hands. They're in the middle of the ocean. Right? Step one. That'd be step one, right?
Yeah.
What do both of the guys do next?
Establish a horizontal plane of reference with the horizon if it's a Mariner sextant, or establish a horizontal plane of reference if it's a bubble sextant with the bubble. Establish that Earth is flat and reference that flat plane. That's the starting point for both globe believers and flat earthers. Both of them have to do that.
Hold on, they're looking out through a sextant. They're looking out through a sextant. Are they're looking at the horizon? They're both looking at the horizon. Right?
Yes.
Okay, they're both looking at the horizon. So there's a horizon on flat Earth. There's a horizon on the globe. So nothing's different so far. Right?
No.
Same
There is
thing.
no. There is something different because you've just said
What's
there's a
different?
horizon on a globe. No, you see, the horizon on a globe is below surface level and won't establish a horizontal plane of reference. So no, if you believe that you're a globe and pointing your sextant at a globe horizon, that won't establish a horizontal plane of reference. Both parties have to establish Earth as flat first, and to assert that you're looking at a globe horizon won't give you that.
Okay, so what's happening? I'm just trying to figure out what's happening different on this step of the process between the flat and the globe. They both have a sextant. They're both looking at the horizon. What's the difference in them?
Nothing. This is why moving forward into 2024, we need to have the dogged assurance of this fact. Both, I'll say it again for a third time, both establish a horizontal plane of reference to use that tool. Both will be measuring an angle, won't they?
Okay, so they make a horizontal, so they're not looking at the horizon because the horizon's not horizontal. That's why the dip correction.
No.
You told me they were looking at.
No, they'll both be looking at the horizon. Who's playing a guitar?
Somebody's got some wild background noise.
Somebody's playing a guitar.
Let me sort it out.
Who's doing that?
I don't know. We're gonna figure it out together.
Yeah, but remove me, right?
Neil, you are constantly giving your colour commentary through the top of Witsit while they're muting me in the server because of you. Okay?
Okay,
so do you want to keep doing that?
Oakley, there's two guys. One's on a globe. One's on flat Earth.
Got that.
Are they sighting the horizon or are they making a horizontal?
They're sighting the horizon to establish horizontal.
But the horizon is not horizontal, though. That's why the dip correction.
Yes,
when you look out horizontal, the horizon.
Yes, it is horizontal.
Why are they making a dip correction?
Because it represents the point of the ground, which is below you. You don't have to do dip correction if you're in the sea and your eyes are at the surface level. You're correcting to the surface level. The horizon represents where the surface appears to meet the sky in the distance. Well, if the surface is below you, you've got to correct for the fact that that flat surface that you're establishing with the horizon is at surface level. But what you're looking at in the form of the horizon is the ground level that's below you disappearing into the distance. Well, you've got to correct for the fact that you're not on the surface.
Hold on a second.
If you're above the surface. Sorry, it's just the end of the answer to your question. My bad.
No, go ahead. Finish it up.
I did.
I want to go next.
I was in the middle of answering you. You're correcting to the surface level. You're above it if you're looking at the horizon on the deck of a ship. So dip correction puts your eyes back on the surface level. Why are you doing that? To establish a horizontal level plane of reference with the horizon that you are slightly above when you make a dip correction.
Okay, so this sextant has crosshairs on it?
Your point to this stage is, are globers and flat earthers doing anything different? That's your question, right?
Yeah, no, is there crosshairs on the sextant? That's the question.
To look through at the sextant and see where the horizon is. Yeah, why?
Okay, so there's crosshair. Now, when we look out, we're aiming the crosshair flat with the horizon, right? Is that what's happening?
Yeah.
Okay, but that's not always horizontal. It may be sometimes, but like you said, the horizon's moving.
Wait a minute. Is that what's happening?
Horizontal.
You have a horizon mirror, and you're looking at the horizon, and you're bringing whatever you're sighting down to the horizon.
He's not at that stage yet, Eli. He's still at the stage where he's saying the horizon
Jeremy,
is not horizontal like Witsit did.
Yeah, Jeremy, how is the horizon not horizontal?
It is. He's just wrong.
No, the horizon's horizontal. The horizon is horizontal, but when you're looking at the horizon, if you make a horizontal out, it's going to be below you. So when he's got the crosshairs on the horizon, he's not looking horizontal, right? He can't be.
Okay, yeah, you've got to do dip correction because you're above it. Yeah, we've covered this twice. Yes, dip correction.
Yes.
The dip
correction
is bringing you to the.
That's not because the horizon isn't horizontal. That's not because it isn't horizontal. It's because you're above.
No, the point is you don't need it. You make a horizontal with the tool that makes a horizontal, not the horizon. The horizon can be above the horizontal or below it.
But that's what you're pointing.
That's the whole point.
Sorry, Rakia, that's what you're
You don't
pointing.
have to point this.
That
Yeah, but
is
if you use a bubble section, you don't care. Like,
right.
that's what I'm saying. You don't
Who's
need the
making
horizon.
that
That's one way of
god-awful
doing it.
noise? What's that noise?
Oakley's tried to talk like 3 times and people have jumped on him. So when he's going to respond, treat him like a guest and let him finish. And obviously, real fast, what's happening is you guys are talking past each other, talking about horizontal left to right, and then they're talking about extending horizontal straight out, right, and it going up
That's
or down
correct.
below that. They're 2 different things.
Good summary, Witsit. But Rakia is
Okay,
saying,
so we're
hold on. Based on what you said, Witsit, he's saying, no, you're not using the horizon to establish horizontal because it moves, right, Rakia?
Yeah.
Okay, so either you're saying that sextants don't work to establish a horizontal to measure the angle. Is that what you're suggesting then, Rakia?
No, I'm not suggesting anything. I know when you use it on a boat because the boat is moving, the best thing to use is the horizon, and that gives you close enough. But when you're not on something that's moving like a boat in the waves, you don't use the horizon to create a horizontal because sometimes it can trick you and be below, further than it actually should be, or above it even under certain conditions. So you would use more of a bubble sextant or a tool that creates a horizontal.
Okay, what you're saying
Yeah, that's why you use the horizon on a boat is because you're
You're
moving.
still talking past.
No, I'm not suggesting anything. I know when you use it on a boat because the boat is moving, the best thing to use is the horizon.
Talking past each other, he's talking about left to right. It's a horizontal reference, and everyone keeps bringing up it going up and down. They're different things.
You're saying Jeremy is referencing left to right?
No. Oakley's talking about the horizontal reference left to right, and then you and Jeremy are talking about it going up and down below that point that comes out from the observer. They're 2 different things.
Fair enough. Yeah, I'm at work, so I'm hearing bits and pieces, but fair enough.
In either
okay.
event,
So you're saying that. Hold on, real quick, Oakley. You're saying that when the guy on the globe and the flat Earth guy, when they look out at the horizon, the glober's horizon is not going to be horizontal?
no, they're both the same horizon and they both use the horizon for the same purpose. Now, Rakia's point is it's not as accurate as if you establish it with a bit of molasses and you halve the tool's capabilities, or you use a bubble. You might get a better accurate horizontal plane of reference. Yeah, okay, I'll agree with that. Yeah, it's not an ideal tool if you're rocking back and forth on a boat. No, I'll agree with that too. But it's still being used for the same purpose, to establish horizontal, to get a line for an angle to the star that you're measuring. So the tool's measuring an angle, and the first line is a baseline, and you're using the horizon for both globers and flat earthers to establish that line to get that angle. You are establishing a horizontal plane of reference when you point it at the horizon if you're a glober or a flat earther. My point being that moving forward into 2024, we have no requirement to point out that the globe is doing anything with this unless a positive assertion comes from an opponent. But furthermore, we are using this tool to measure Earth as flat. That's how it must be measured when you point the tool at the horizon to get an angle from it. You're measuring Earth flat. So's a glober when they point a sextant to get an angle that's a straight line with respect to the horizon, corrected, inaccurate, because you're on a wave that's going up and down, or otherwise, you're still achieving the same ends regardless of who's holding that tool. You can't even pick up a sextant if you're a glober because you can't establish a horizontal plane of reference with it. That's why when you first said, well, what's the difference if I'm looking at a globe horizon or I'm looking at a flat Earth horizon? Both are looking at a flat Earth horizon because both are establishing a flat baseline to establish a flat line for an angle to the star. Both need it to be flat. That's the point. They need a flat Earth as much as we do because they're measuring an angle off a flat baseline and establishing a horizontal plane when they look at the horizon, just like we are. We don't need to point that out like Witsit did. We just need to say Earth's measured flat because it is.
Right, that's why they need to show that globe with the flat plane on the inside every time they demonstrate how celestial navigation works on the globe. They just they're counting on you not picking up on that it's on the inside of a globe, and that doesn't make any sense.
The horizontal line, though, is the line you make to the horizon, right? That doesn't have anything to do with the land under it.
You're using the land to establish it. You're not measuring you're establishing the horizon as your horizontal. But when we point that out, you're like, that's not the ground. Is it not? That's what you're navigating and establishing the angle on, and you're going to be navigating, utilizing ground positions, but it's not the ground. Yes, it is.
Hold on, I didn't make that argument. That was
You just said it's not the ground.
Argument.
You said when you establish the horizontal with the horizon, it's not the ground. That's what you just said. Yes, it is.
From you to the. Okay, well, I misspoke. From you to the horizon, I'm talking about.
That's the ground.
Said the horizons.
Yes, the ground.
You said the horizon's the same. I understand. You said the horizon is the same for the glober. I'm trying to figure out where the difference is. What's the difference between the guy on the globe and the guy on the flat Earth?
The difference is that they need to establish a horizontal plane of reference when they point the sextant at the horizon. But for their globe belief, it isn't. So straight off the bat,
how are they establishing the horizontal plane of reference? How are they establishing the horizontal plane of reference? What's different between the glober doing it and the flat earther doing it?
Both establish it flat.
The globe doesn't have one.
He just answered that. He said there's no difference. It's just like saying plane survey. What they do is they measure the Earth like it's flat, neglect any notion of curvature, then just claim the Earth's a ball anyway. They have to treat the Earth like it's flat, right? And then just they pretend it's a globe anyway.
Almost. Let me just agree with Witsit. Finally, we're on the same track. Great. Not treat it as flat, measure it flat, Witsit. There's a big difference.
Yeah.
Not treat it as flat and then pretend it's a globe. You measure it flat. Both us and the globe do. This is why this guy, I'm more than content to go around in the circle forever with this guy, because he's like, I don't get it. Where's the difference? Well, they don't have a horizon that will establish Earth as flat. But they still have to establish Earth as flat to measure an angle from it. So both have a flat plane requirement. They're immediately failing because their horizon isn't the horizon that gives them a flat plane.
Yeah, exactly. Like to measure from the horizontal reference point is horizontal, right? And they have to actually measure a flat Earth and then claim it's a globe. Perfect. And this is where, of course, they'll just say it's real big or whatever. But
perfect. It's a subtle change that you've undergone, and suddenly I'm not annoyed at you, Witsit. Absolutely spot on, Witsit. Yes.
The testosterone and adrenaline is through the roof. Yeah,
because the stakes are high.
You guys are doing
the stakes are high. The stakes are very high because I want a fundamental change in the attitude of the people who I see as my peers. Now, I'm not going to beat around the bush. A lot of you piss me off a lot of the time, and I'm not going to lie about that. Maybe apologies that I have to make to people who I've made that clear to when I've got angry with them, like Witsit. Second person I'm going to have to apologise to you today for my disdain. But it's because the stakes about the subject are high rather than the personal difference that we may have about ether. That's not what we're going to be discussing when I get allegiance like I've just got from Witsit. Finally, some agreement. Yeah, both parties have to measure Earth as flat, establish Earth as flat, to do any of the functionality that they're then going to claim proves a globe. Immediately, they need a flat Earth straight away. That's our starting point, or should be going forward. Thank you, Witsit. Really cheered me up.
It's very similar to plane surveying, right? Like when they invoke geodetic surveying, they actually have to use flat Earth measurements as their foundation, right? And then they stitch them together and claim it's a globe.
Goosebumps. Got goosebumps from you saying it like that. Yeah. Bon. Absolutely. They've got to first measure Earth flat. That's right, Witsit. Yeah. Now you're singing my hymn from my hymn sheet. Thank you.
Yeah, and just to clarify, like what I'm trying to say earlier, I wasn't actually trying to argue against the argument. I was trying to explain to you what some people have, in my opinion, saying like out to the horizon. Well, the horizon moves, right? So it's not like you just go out there and look at the horizon and then you know the Earth's flat because of your baseline. That the horizon's not going to meet your baseline. In my opinion, saying like out to the horizon, well, the horizon moves, right? So it's not like you just go out there and look at the horizon and then you know the Earth's flat because of your baseline. That the horizon's not going to meet your baseline. In my opinion, saying like out to the horizon moves, right? So it's not like you just go out there and look at the horizon and then you know the Earth's flat because of your baseline. That the horizon's not going to meet your baseline. Just to clarify, like what I'm trying to say earlier, I wasn't actually trying to argue against the argument. I was trying to explain to you what some people have a contention with. Like the horizon moves, right? So it's not like you just go out there and look at the horizon and then you know the Earth's flat because of your baseline. That the horizon's not going to meet your baseline. Moves, right? So it's not like you just go out there and look at the horizon and then you know the Earth's flat because of your baseline. That the horizon's not going to meet your baseline. I don't even necessarily agree with it, right? I just think that the point has to be delivered completely.
No, my bad. I was slow.
But I agree with
I got that eventually. I'm just slow. Eventually, I realised that you're postulating the devil's advocate position, and I did put that to you eventually once I understood.
There's hope for you, Witsit.
Witsit's ace. Witsit 20. He's been added 10 IQ points.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with. I think this is like the strongest point. So I actually agree. This is one of the first things that should be said, because with engineering, so bridges, runways, everything, we measure the Earth flat. We build things like the Earth is flat, and they just come along on the tail end and claim it's a globe, hijacking the flat Earth measurement.
I agree with you. This is basically your idea, Witsit.
Exactly.